Hello, children. Are you ready to have fun and learn with Tiny Tiffany? Good. Today's story is about Tiny Tiffany's friend Sally and how she's feeling very unwell, and the adventure Tiny Tiffany takes to try and make her feel all better. Are you ready? Good. Excellent. Then we'll begin. But don't forget, story time's for listening, so try to be quiet. It's a beautiful day in Happy Town, and Tiny Tiff is out playing with her best friend Sally. Gee, Sally, it sure is a hot day today, isn't it? Tiny Tiff said. So why do I feel so cold? Sally replied. Maybe we need to play even more so we can warm you up, Tiffany shouted. They ran to the woods to play hide and seek, Sally's favourite. Okay, said Tiny Tiff, you hide and I'll seek. You betcha, I'm the best hider ever, Sally said. I bet I'll find you. You find your hiding spot and I'll count to 50. Tiny Tiff was very excited. Okay, better make it 100 though. I need more time as I feel quite tired, said Sally. Okay, 100 it is, but you'd better get hiding. I'm a fast counter, Tiny Tiff remarked. Tiny Tiff began to count to 100 as Sally traipsed through the woods to find her hiding spot, but started to find herself out of breath. 98, 99, 100. Ready or not, here I come, shouted Tiffany. The hunt for her best friend had begun. Tiny Tiff slowly wandered the woods. Was she behind the tree? No, not behind the tree. What about under the leaves? No, not under the leaves. Perhaps she climbed a tree, maybe she was up there. No, she's not there either. Until all of a sudden, Tiny Tiff noticed Sally's legs on the floor poking out from behind a different tree. Tiny Tiff has found her. She gleefully but sneakily approached the tree that Sally was hiding behind. Sally's legs were awfully still. She's doing her best to keep quiet, Tiny Tiff thought to herself. Tiny Tiff approached the tree and jumps out from behind it saying, I found you! But Sally remains unresponsive. You can stop now, Sally, Tiny Tiff said. I found you. But still nothing. Tiny Tiff approaches Sally and touches her hand. Cold. Sally had collapsed. Thinking on her tiny feet, Tiny Tiff ran to Sally's parents and told them what had happened. Her parents ran to Sally and called the emergency services with water in their eyes. Sally, now in a comfy hospital bed, was surrounded by people who loved her, including Tiny Tiff. Though there's love in the room, silence becomes ever more apparent, until this silence is broken as a doctor walks into the room in a dashing white coat and a clipboard in his hands. I'm Dr. Dick, he exclaims emotionlessly. I'm still not quite sure what's happened to Sammy. It's Sally, the mother responded. The cheeky doctor had forgotten her name. We need to run some more tests before we have anything concrete, the doctor quipped in the same emotionless fashion. Tiny Tiff noticed Sally's parents grew more concerned about bills as they don't pay their national insurance. I know, I'll hold a cake sale and all the profits I make will go to making Sally better again. What a nice... I'll go home and get onto it straight away, Tiny Tiff shouted. Tiny Tiff ran home and baked like she'd never baked before. There were chocolate chip muffins, cherry icing cakes, oat cookies and cinnamon buns. They all smelled delicious. Tiny Tiff then pitched up a table outside Sally's house and sold every last one of them, raising £33. She rushed back to the hospital with all the money she earned, burst through the doors to Sally's room with an ear-to-ear grin. But her excitement was short-lived as she noticed Sally's entire family in uncontrollable tears. Don't cry, I've raised £33 to help get Sally better. Dr. Dick approached Tiny Tiff with his clipboard. I'm afraid it's bad news. There's nothing we can do, he uttered. But what about the cake sale? What about all the money I raised? Surely that will help. The cake sale was pointless, says Dr. Dick. So what should I do? Just wait. That's all we can do now is wait. Wait for what? Said Tiny Tiff. for her to pass, he replied. But will I ever see her again when she does? Cried Tiffany. No. But what about heaven? Will I ever see her again in heaven? There is no heaven, Dr. Dick quipped confidently. So what happens after we pass? Tiny Tiff quizzed. Nothing. We become nothing. 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 We become nothing. We slip into a void of non-sentient state, just material shell with no feelings, he continued. But I don't understand, Tiny Tiff replied. How can we not feel anything? It almost seems hard to believe. Dr. Dick gently laughed. That's your emotions altering your logic. It's where God came from. God came from my emotions? Tiny Tiff questioned. Especially fear, Dr. Dick stated with confidence. Well, that makes me feel so sad, Tiny Tiff muttered. Dr. Dick nodded his head, leaned in closer, and said, That's life. Tiny Tiff became inconsolable and cried out for Mummy and Daddy. Dr. Dick took her by the hand and offered her a lift home. She hasn't been seen since. What do you think the moral of the story was today, boys and girls? That's right. Acceptance and understanding that no matter how hard you try, no matter what you do, bad things will happen. Terrible, terrible things will happen, and there's not a thing you can do about it. And when those bad things happen, don't fill the void with man-made myths designed to make you feel better about something that's inevitable. It comes to us all, and when it does, just accept it. Okay, that's all we've got time for, I'm afraid. Until next time, bye!